So today we're here to talk to you about the special town meeting, which will be coming up June 5th, 2021 at 11 a.m. on the Town of Grafton High School football field.
Article 1 on the special town meeting warrant is to transfer and appropriate money for any adjustments that may need to be made to the FY21 operating budget.
Great. Article 2 is to pay a prior fiscal year bill. So what happens in municipal government, if a bill is older than June 30th of the prior fiscal year, under the law, we cannot just pay it. We have to go back and ask for authorization to do so. So this bill is only $103, but it needs town meeting approval.
Article 3 comes to us from the Recreation Department and is a line item transfer from the personnel wages account to the expense account to defray some of the costs that they've incurred closer to the end of this fiscal year.
Right. Article 4 is simply the average article that we have in the springtime on the special, and that is to transfer money from CPA to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Article 5 gives Mr. Broussard here the authority to allow for more than 10 days of vacation time to be transferred into the next fiscal year. This article is on the warrant as compensation for COVID-19 and the fact that municipal employees weren't able to use vacation time over the past 18 months.
Excellent. Article 6 is to see if we will transfer and appropriate money for a prior fiscal year bill for the animal control budget. In this case, again, it's small money. It's about $600, but what happened is we had an animal that needed to be housed for upwards of a year, and we incurred some additional costs because of that.
Article 7, once again, this year, the annual town meeting will be outside on the football field, and with that comes additional cost for things like chairs, the large screen that we may need to use. So this article allows for a transfer to cover that cost.
Right. Article 8 comes from the police department, and it transfers $25,000 from the personnel services account to the police expenses account. This is a standard line item transfer where we are making capacity within one side of the budget against the other.
Article 9 fixes a clerical error from a previous town meeting warrant. This allows the sewer department to replace truck 28. This was on last year's annual town meeting warrant, but it did not name a funding source. So this article is on there to rectify that, to ensure that everything meets the standards we need to meet.
Article 10 does something very similar. Once we went through our audit process, we discovered that we did not provide a funding source, so we have to revote that again. And this is to purchase a F-250 truck with a plow for the sewer department. And that is it for the special town meeting that's coming up on June 5th. All right, well, now let's talk about the annual town meeting. The annual town meeting is also on June 15th and will be happening at 11:30. All right, so William, let's talk about the consent agenda.
Fantastic.
So the consent agenda is the first 11 articles, and that consent agenda allows us to pass all of those 11 articles in one motion, hence passing it by consent. These are annual articles and not ones that are generally thought to create controversy in any way. They're the general business of the town that we are looking to get through procedurally.
Yes.
All right. Will, is there anything new in this warrant?
There are some new items. Once we get through the consent agenda, the first article that we're going to talk about in depth is Article 12, which is the omnibus, the annual town budget, which is going to defray the cost of the ensuing fiscal year, cover salaries, and cover everything that the town needs to do for the next 12 months.
Right. So the omnibus this year, we've done a little bit differently. We've provided two sets of documents. One set is the detail budget, and the other set is the omnibus as it sits. And so the omnibus totals this year. General government, the total is $2,737,683. Public safety is $3,670,255. Public works is $3,268,591. Sewer is $1,161,794. Health and Human Services, $576,601. Culture and Recreation, $1,263,059. Education, $39,707,473. Unclassified, which is $8,924,857. And debt service, which is $5,949,175, for a grand total of $67,259,487. Article 13 authorizes the town to replace Engine 1 and to borrow funds for said replacement for a total expenditure of $740,000. The type of borrowing for these funds won't be known until after the truck is under contract, when we look and see where the best rates are at that time. I think Article 13 ties into Article 14. Do you want to explain that one?
Yeah, so Article 14 is the omnibus capital improvements budget. So this year, the capital improvement budget is $1,281,000. And that covers some pretty interesting things that are going to be done around town over the course of the next year and the next 5 years. It includes things like the police department is going to be getting a few new cruisers. We're going to replace Engine 1 for the Grafton Fire Department. The planning department will be updating the master plan, and we'll be doing work at a couple of the schools around Grafton, including repaving a playground and replacing tile floors.
Article 15 funds the Blackstone Valley Vocational Regional School District. Total amount of $968,780, which includes $46,424 of Proposition 2.5 exempt funds, which will be applied against a capital project.
Article 16 is going to be passed over at town meeting. In the past, there have been 2 articles for Blackstone Valley Tech. This year, there is only one that has condensed the money that the town is giving to them. So Article 16 is going to be passed over.
Right. Article 17 is also going to be passed over. This article is tied back to the omnibus budget and therefore is unnecessary.
Article 18 is the sale of a small parcel of land at 127 Old Westboro Road. It is a small square piece in the corner of another lot that's going to be sold at its current market value of $600.
Article 19 funds Grafton Community Television for the amount of $335,000. I think it's important to note that this money is not taxpayer money, it's PEG access money, which stands for Public Education and Government, and is funded through your cable subscription.
Article 20 also relates to the Grafton Cable Studio. What it is a transfer of $79,000 from the Grafton Cable Project account for the purpose of paying debt service. When we went through and improved and renovated this current building, came in a little under budget, and so the money that is left over is being used to pay down the debt aggressively.
That's a solid practice.
It is.
Article 21 accepts a new hydrant for the Grafton Water District.
Article 22 is from the Board of Sewer Commissioners. It is a transfer of $100,000 from the sewer retained earnings account to the plant upgrade and expansion account.
All right. Article 23 is for I&I, which stands for inflow and infiltration and inspection and repair. So this is a $100,000 article, which has been submitted by the Board of Sewer Commissioners.
Article 24, also from the Board of Sewer Commissioners. This is a $150,000 transfer from the retained earnings account to the major equipment repair and replacement account. This will be used to make general repairs around the sewer plant and replace some equipment.
Article 25 accepts a donation of land from the rear of the parcel at 59 Pleasant Street.
Article 26 is something that under Chapter 30B, when we procure goods and services, we can only sign contracts up to 3 years. Article 26 allows the town administrator or the school committee to sign a contract upwards of 10 years if they feel it's frugal for the town.
That's correct. Why would we want to do that, Will?
If we wanted to procure something that we think the price might fluctuate a lot over the course of the next 5 or 7 years, it just gives us the option to sign a longer contract to potentially get a better deal on the service. Right. It doesn't mean we have to, but it gives us the option to.
Article 27 was submitted by the Community Preservation Committee. It's an article for $66,500 to be paid towards the debt incurred when they purchased the Pell Farm property. This is the 13th out of 20 payments.
Article 28 funds the 7th of 20 debt payments on the restoration of the Grafton Townhouse. and this year it's a payment of $75,600.
Articles 29, 30, and 31 all extend a sunset provision on CPC articles that were passed at previous town meetings. These projects weren't able to be completed in the specified time frame due to COVID, and so CPC is looking to allow those applicants additional time to complete those projects.
Fantastic. Article 32 also comes to us from the Community Preservation Committee. This is to allocate funds for the addition of outdoor bathrooms at the Grafton Lions Club Dauphiné Park. This year, the project is going to cost $175,835.
Article 33 is from the Community Preservation Committee. It's for $17,500, and it funds an investigation of aquatic alien invasive weed infestation and contaminants in Flint and Hovey Ponds and a portion of the Quinsigamon River.
Article 34 is for $32,500 to be allocated from the Community Preservation Act for the engineering and the design for a park to be established at what is currently known as Whitney Park.
Article 35 seeks to amend the Town of Grafton Stormwater Management Bylaw. This is due to a change at the federal level, which changes how we regulate stormwater in the Town of Grafton.
Article 36 will transfer the duty of care of 46 Adams Road from the Select Board to the Conservation Commission. This is a parcel of land that is already owned by the town and would just be changing hands.
Article 37 comes to us from the Conservation Commission and accepts a donation of land from 4 Millennium Drive from the Worcester Business Development Council. This land is a wetland and is unable to be developed in that area.
Article 38 comes to us from the Assessor's Office. This is a vote to accept Chapter 59, Section 5 of Massachusetts General Law. This will provide a real estate exemption for taxpayers who are members of the National Guard or military reservists who are currently serving on active duty. You might recognize this article. This is something that the town has to vote on every 2 years.
Article 39 is also from the Assessor's Office. It seeks to accept Mass General Law, Chapter 56, Section 5C and a half, which grants exemptions to certain blind persons, veterans, surviving spouses, and seniors. This is an annual article that needs to be readopted every fiscal year.
Article 40 is a joint submission by the Select Board and the Economic Development Commission. This article, if passed, would repeal Article 39, Section 2 of the Town of Grafton General Bylaws and update it to increase the number of recreational marijuana retailers allowed in the Town of Grafton, bumping the percentage of 20% of retail package stores to 50% of retail package stores here in town.
So, William, why would we want to do this?
So if this article passes, it will increase the number of RMRs we can give out from 2 to 3. And the goal behind that is to increase the amount of revenue that the town can generate from these businesses.
All right, thank you. Article 41 seeks to allow the Board of Selectmen to sell the property located at 17 and 27 Upton Street, which is known as the barn and the DPW garage. You may recognize this article as this was one that was passed last year, except there was an issue with the number of parcels that was part of that vote. In the previous vote, we only voted 27 Upton Street, and it really should have been 17 and 27. So this is really just a procedural change to make sure that we're compliant with what we need to do to be able to sell the property.
Fantastic. Article 42 is going to be passed over at town meeting. This was a citizen's petition, and since it has been submitted, the group that submitted it has decided that they want to change the intent of this article and has asked that we pass over it.
Article 43 seeks to amend Article 20, Section 4-19 Personnel Bylaw of the General Bylaws of the Town of Grafton by deleting the words Columbus Day and replacing it with Indigenous Peoples Day.
Article 44, in a similar vein, seeks to amend Article 20, Section 4-19 of the Personnel Bylaws by adding a holiday between Memorial Day and Independence Day, that holiday being Juneteenth, to align with the current Massachusetts state holiday list.
I think it's also important to note, Will, that Articles 43 and 44 were both citizens' petitions.
Correct.
Article 45 seeks to convey 25 Worcester Street to the Town of Grafton Select Board for nominal consideration for the purpose of open space or to act on anything relative thereto. In speaking with Town Council, we anticipate that this article will be ruled out of order and thus passed over.
Why will it be ruled out of order, Evan?
So, in talking with Town Council, the the town of Grafton cannot convey anything to the select board because we no longer own the property. The town of Grafton no longer owns 25 Worcester Street. It is under the care and custody of the Affordable Housing Trust and has already been deeded to them.
Interesting.
Well, that's all for us. I'm Town Administrator Evan Brassard.
And I'm Management Analyst William Blake.
We look forward to seeing you at town meeting.